1, 2, 3, 4.
Pretentious drinking. Pretentious drinking. We're pretentious drinkers. Put it in a glass. Put it in your mouth. Take a little drink. Tell me what you think. We're pretentious drinkers. Pretentious drinking. Pretentious drinking.
Tasty.
Nice. Welcome to another episode of Pretentious Drinking. Today, we're going to be reviewing Bear Republic Big Bear Black Stout. 8.1% alcohol by volume, brewed and bottled by Bear Republic Brewing Company in Healdsburg, Cloverdale, California.
Look at that. Oh my god. Oh. I guess you could say we're gonna try out a bear.
A bear of a beer.
So we raise our glasses to the crooked camera.
Oh, you fucked it up.
I can't figure that out. Cheers.
So apparently this is black. I've never seen a white stout, to be honest.
Yeah.
Creamier.
This is a little bit more
Well,
bitter.
actually
Old
no, but
Rapist.
the aftertaste is pretty chocolatey again.
It's got some weight to it.
I really like the aftertaste.
If you saw our last video, we reviewed this bad boy. So that's
Old Rapist, yeah.
old crap.
Rasputin.
What did you say?
Rasputin. So the Bear Republic,
It's pretty good. Definitely
what do you
a
think?
drinker.
What do you like about it?
I like the chocolate and coffee notes. They are definitely there. It's creamy.
Like the aftertaste.
Mhm.
It's not super creamy.
Not super creamy, but it's a weighty beer again. Not quite as much as the Rasputin, but I feel like it's unfair to compare it so heavily to that beer just because it's what we just drank. But it's
Squid to
good.
the last drop.
I do like this.
I would have to say though, I do like the Rasputin
Uh-huh.
just a tad bit more, but that's because I like a little more sharpness in a beer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really into a smooth beer, and if it's gonna be smooth, I usually just want to go with like a very light lager or ale, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you just go with
Something in this
Like-
lighter color that's
What is it?
predictable, I
Yeah,
guess.
like-
Like an IPA or something.
nice and light.
I would
Nice
say
and
this
light.
is quite sharp, though. It's the bitterness that gives it the sharpness. But you're always going to find that in a stout. It's always going to be bitter.
You know what's funny? I feel, and I don't know if this is entirely right, but whereas Rasputin, I wanted to say it was almost like I forgot what I was talking about.
Well, I don't think this is as much of a dessert beer as the Rasputin was. Because, like, the great thing about the stouts is it combines the bitterness of three different very enjoyable things: chocolate, coffee, and beer. It combines all those bitter qualities, infuses them together, and you're left with a stout. The Rasputin was sweeter than this, definitely.
I could say that, yeah, and that's actually what I was going to say was it's not as bad as a Sam Adams, like the Sam Adams on the Rasputin.
The sweetness.
It was like that extra sweetness and stuff. But at the same time, I felt like wanting to say that if you had, again, the only comparable, like, typical drink, Guinness,
The Guinness, yeah.
and then you added the body, sort of like almost a Blue Moon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Again, like, I would say that's popular enough. That's what you'd end up with. Obviously not the exact flavor of a Belgian Blue Moon ale, but
So combine Guinness with the body of a Blue Moon?
yeah, you'd end up. I feel like you'd end up with this,
Yeah,
and that would be
sweet-
like your interest in
Sweet
it.
undertones.
Yeah.
I definitely do taste the Blue Moon hints in that. We were just drinking that last night, although it was the bottom of the tap
It
and
was
it
pretty
was
shitty.
assy. Not so
Ew.
great.
The ass wasn't that bad, but it was pretty. I had better experiences with Blue Moon.
And it's crazy, like, after testing so many stouts and then having a Blue Moon, which is like the complete opposite end of the spectrum.
Yeah, plus it was a draft. The Blue Moon wasn't
Yeah.
out of the bottle or anything.
Blue Moon used to be like my go-to beer if I was drinking somewhere and that was what they had on tap. It was just like, I know that I'll like this, but I feel like my tastes have really changed, and now like I'm more apt to take something like this as my default beer, like whatever stout. they
No
have on
more
tap.
Cosmos.
I don't think so.
Cosmopolitan.
And I used to be quite the wino, and now I feel like it's the dark beers that I gotta stick with.
Well, winter's perfect for that.
Yeah, it is.
For the darker beers.
It's like, do I want dinner or do I want a stout?
Because I gotta be like, there's certain drinks that you just don't want to have during the winter or during the summer. It's not as like, for whatever reason, just not as appetizing.
Right, like I think of wine and I think of like fruit, and the summer and like sangria with the fruit and stuff in it. If that's what you're into. You know what, on a hot summer day and you want something citrusy, refreshing.
Gin and tonic.
Okay, gin and tonic. Yeah,
Bitters.
that does get the job done. But I love wine. I do love wine. But this is a great winter beer, and with the snowstorm we just had, got me in the spirit.
If you get snowed in, which beer would you rather have?
The
Old
Rasputin.
Rapist?
Well, I mean that's not fair because like the stouts I've had within the last like 4 days, 3 Beans by 6 Point, the Brooklyn Black Chocolate Stout, the Founder's Breakfast Stout, Rasputin, and then the Black Bear.
Okay.
3 Beans takes a cake, but it's pricey.
But that's,
Founders would be next, and then the Rasputin.
okay. So that would have been your order, Jen?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. I mean, well, that was basically the order of alcohol content also, because 3 Beans is 10%. And
The Brooklyn
the-
Black was also 10%.
Yeah,
So
that was great.
I don't remember what Founders was. I think it.
But also the
9.2
difference
maybe?
too was that the Brooklyn Lager, sorry, not the Brooklyn Lager, but the Brooklyn Stout was actually in a bottle, where the 3 Beans was in a can.
That's the other thing. Like, I really still have not decided what I think is better. I mean, I'm apt to go with bottle always tastes better, but the 3 Beans came in a can, and it was the best one I had, and I really don't think it altered the flavor at all.
You know what? And this is something that I
This is
heard-
8.1.
This is something I don't know, but you know this.
I know what you don't know.
From what I understand, it's actually not the way it's stored or whatever, because the storage is the same. It's the same concept. You're sealing it. You know, whatever. I don't know of any reports on like a leakage, right? Comparing bottle, and the only thing I've ever heard that makes sense would be the fact that you're tasting metal on the can, whereas the bottle, it's actually also it's a smaller hole, and the glass, or depending on what you're drinking out of it, whether it's the bottle itself or in the glass, it doesn't have as much of a taste to
Right.
it, so it's not altering it.
Right.
Because I'm
Like,
sure
I-
if you put your mouth on freaking metal, you taste metal. Like, you just know it tastes like metal.
Whether or not it's sat in there and absorbed the metallic flavors.
Feel like
or whatever
Jaws, you know,
wanna say.
just always eating metal.
Chomping into boats and shit.
Chomping into
And fire extinguishers.
But I do like beer in a glass a lot more because the whole idea of aerating it and smelling it before you taste it, though. No, really, it when we poured a 3 Beans, like the smell was just to die for. The coffee and the chocolate was
it was pretty good.
right. Like we took a look, we were like, we know this is gonna be good.
But it's not something you could have, like, 10
I was actually
times.
kind of worried when I first smelled 3 Beans. I thought it was going to be like, this smells great, but it probably tastes crappy.
No, but it was.
It turned out to be good.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to
great
have,
balance.
like, 5 of those in a row, though, would you?
Oh no,
No,
one is
they're
enough.
really too
It's
heavy.
like drinking 2 or 3 beers when you have
Okay.
one of those. It's 10%, and a 12-ounce can is. That's what we had before we went to JP's apartment, and we walked there. And we got there like, whoa.
We were embracing
I'm trying to
it.
say we got
We
there
were
like.
embracing it.
Nice. Yeah, so, I mean, that's one of the things. It's just the body, the weight of beers like this. You know, you don't. You go to
It's
a party.
not a chugger.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean that's the beauty of like this versus like a Bud or something, right? You're
Right.
not gonna go to a party and bring in like
You're not,
36
gonna
pack.
bring-
Then again, you
yeah.
probably won't be able to find a 36 or 30 pack, right? So it's just a matter of. I think like you go to a party and you become pompous and you try and act like you know everything, and pretentious, and you drink your beer, and while everyone else, you just make fun of them drinking Bud, and then like 2 beers after you have yours, then you go and drink Bud.
Bud and PBR.
Because
Well,
by that time, it all tastes the same almost anyway.
Well, exactly. I feel like this is a great starter beer when you can still taste it and you're still enjoying it. And you're like, this is great. Now I can move on to something shitty that I'm not going to taste anyway.
Water.
Whatever. You don't want to drink more of these because you won't fully enjoy them. You want
Yeah.
to
It'd just be
have
a
it
waste.
and let it sit. Don't drink more. You can drink something
Yeah.
else. But
I mean, and it also comes down to, I feel maybe something that we should focus on more next time is the price. I mean, it also comes down to you're buying, in a sense, more bang for your buck. But at the same time, I would say that there should be a limit. Like, how much is too much for what they're offering?
For the alcohol content, you mean?
Just the beer itself. Like, how much is too much for a 6-pack?
Right.
Like, you don't want to be. I feel like 15 or something is kind of pushing it.
I mean, because we got the Rasputin in a 4-pack, and I want to say that was like probably $15.
Was it 15?
Maybe.
I feel
because we got the 22 ounce.
What was the total in it?
The total was like $22, and that's 8.1. The Rasputin was.
This was probably like $8-9.
This was 9%.
I mean, that's the only downside. If you buy, what is this, 16? No, what am I saying?
See, on the other hand, we got
1 pint.
We got the Lagunitas Cappuccino Stout, and that was only like $4 for that size, the 22 ounce.
Yeah,
and it was good. It wasn't terrible.
And that's where I'm trying to challenge here is just the price for a pint.
Yeah.
Versus the 4-pack where they're trying to make it, I guess, more in one. I don't, for whatever reason or whatever. They're just trying to keep with the 12 ounce. And in a sense, it's a little more pricey, or it's more pricey with the one. And it depends, because I've had a $5 or like you said, $4 pint that you can buy, and then in a sense, that's still expensive compared to buying a 6-pack of 12 ounces.
The run of the mill,
yeah. You do the math. I'm not going to do it. Just like.
The problem is that they're addictive beers. You have one, and you can't just go back to reality with Budweiser or whatever you decide to drink. So, if you're an alcoholic and you have one of these, be prepared to be disappointed with everything
Lindsey, you
else.
better hurry up. They're playing the exit music to get off the stage for you.
Yeah, wrap it up. Wrap it up, box.
Wrap it up.
I'm sorry, there's a concert going on next door.
The Grammys are
Happening
place
right
now.
outside this
The
room.
graham crackers.
We're actually in the
Graham
Grammys
crackers are playing.
studio. We're in their like backstage room.
Yeah, they're crafting
reviewing
green
beer.
room.
We've hung out with the bands already. I'm just
Yeah.
kind of bored of that, so
I like graham crackers.
record.
So we'll wrap it up.
Final thoughts. Yeah.
Rated.
This is good.
Rating
Sorry.
out of a 54.
It does not
13
disappoint.
Being the middle lowest,
Middle lowest. 14 being absolutely off the spectrum.
and 12
And then-
being quite possibly a beer.
76 being
Vodka.
vodka. Perfect.
What?
I think we agree, right?
Yeah, we agree,
Totally.
right?
You could try it, but don't.
Bear
There's
Republic
some
Stout
betters
For
out
your
there.
health.
for
There's some
your
betters
for
out
your
there.
stout.
Bear.
Doesn't disappoint.
The bear to bear.
We give it a thumbs up, I guess.
You could bear the bear. You could drink the bear. You could drink a bear.
Cheers, motherfuckers.
You drink a bear.
Should we?
Drink a bear.
I got a trickle.
In your. Oh,
Cheers.
I thought you meant you got to pee in your glass.
I'm gonna pee in my glass. Yeah. Cool.
Tasty.
Nice.
It really got shitty music this year in the glass.